What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Sutton Sanctuary Podcast.
Brand new episodes with special guests and myself coming to you weekly.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe so you guys are up to date and get notified right whenever those new episodes are dropped.
Once you guys are done with that, head on over to Hydrate12 IV Therapy and Wellness on Facebook and Instagram and get your IV scheduled today.
The Sutton Sanctuary Podcast on YouTube and Spotify, as always. Thank you guys for watching. You're like
Yes.
3 weeks into fucking with that house?
Well, I've owned the house for 3 weeks.
Owned it for 3 weeks? How long you guys been working on it in there?
It's been a slow start.
Yeah.
Our main GC's out of town right now.
Yeah.
And so he's got his guys bouncing between two different jobs, mine and another. So it's a bit
Yeah.
of a slow start for this one, but that was planned as well. Anything under 6 months is a win, and we'll be well under that. So
Anything under 6 months, so that's how fast you're trying to
yeah,
flip it and
it'll
get
be
out.
it'll be gone by then.
Oh,
once we
completely
sold.
sold and
Yeah.
everything.
The last
Damn.
one was 4 months,
Yeah, that's not. So how long?
and we'll have downtime.
Yeah, how long are you working on it before? How long you got a house to sit on the market normally?
The last one sold in 4.5 days.
Damn.
So if you get a house, and when I do absolutely everything to it, and I give you a home warranty, it only costing a few $100s extra, then you have like full peace of mind.
Yeah.
And it's $50,000 less than building it. Then
Damn.
for a lot of people, it's a no-brainer. And
Yeah.
I do the same house almost every time. It's the one that everybody wants. It's got to be in Newburgh, and it's got to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath,
Yeah.
under 300,000 after I'm done, and then it's gonna sell.
After 300.
No, under.
Under
I want to be
300.
under 300,000 when I'm done. That's the sell price.
Yeah.
And then that's a really good deal and a good home for anybody to get. And then a few years from now, I feel good because they'll have equity in that house. So, I mean, it's a good price.
Yeah, there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath right up the road here that's for sale right now.
Mhm.
It's for like 219. I was like, damn,
Mhm.
that's not a bad deal.
Yeah,
For
but it's not going to be from the top to the bottom completely redone.
no, it isn't.
And that's what we're going to do with the flips.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that one still had some carpet and shit in it, and which is fine, but a lot of people want the hardwood floor and shit these days, it seems like. Do you guys like to go back with hardwood?
I do.
I never liked carpet. Is that a bitch?
I want everything uniformity throughout.
Yeah.
So for carpet is actually on this house right down the street that you're talking about.
Mhm.
It's unusual that the bank did some stuff to it. I don't like anything that they've done. I'm taking a lot of it out anyway.
Yeah.
But they did white carpet everywhere. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking about keeping it in some areas. Like they go ahead and keep it in the bedrooms and bathrooms. I'm gonna run it down the hallways
Yeah.
and change out that. But a lot of the rooms will stay carpet because I feel bad just trashing it. It's brand new. So I
Right.
just don't feel like it's as likable.
Yeah.
So that may or may not come back to hurt me in the end because normally I preach it, just take it all out, make it all the same. That's what everybody wants. Don't change it. But I was like, there's nothing wrong with having carpet in bedrooms for sure,
No. Yeah,
and
especially if it's
it doesn't
brand
save
new.
you much money. So you might as well just go with the LVT if you're going to replace it all. You're not saving much money to go to carpet. And
Yeah.
if you're buying any kind of quality carpet, then you're going to spend the exact same or more.
Yeah. I guess it's like the comment you made whenever you walked in, like everyone's got dogs. I think that's like a lot of reason why people get rid of it.
Yeah,
Dogs and
that's
animals.
why
They
we
just
should have a flooring company.
maintain it, and yeah, it's a bitch. It
Mhm.
sucks. Like this carpet in here. So look at this. I sprayed this down with a bleach bottle the other day that I thought was carpet cleaner. Now
Yeah.
it's got 2 huge white spots on my floor over here, bro.
Well, you could have problems with hardwoods. It's the LVTs that you're talking about, LVTs and LVPs, planks, and
Yeah.
usually vinyl tiles.
Yeah.
So all your click together floors or glued down floors will be waterproof and whatnot. But if you have any kind of actual hardwood, then
Yeah.
it's not. And if the new look is to remove the orange, sand it down, but when you do that, you're going to open all the pores. And I feel like even if you, and in my experience firsthand, is even if you go with a satin semi-finish clear coat, you still end up getting stains if your dog pees on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the more finish you have to protect that wood, it also, you're just going to leave gouge marks or impression marks on the gloss coat.
Mm.
And then you're going to want to end up sanding that down. So
Yeah.
floors, no matter what anymore, is just like LVT for sure. Click together, waterproof, dog proof.
Yeah, that's what we just laid all in through there is all that click together
Yeah.
shit.
Unless you get a boy dog, and then that boy dog pees in the corner, and it gets on through the baseboard, gets on the floor, and then
Yeah.
you're stuck with that smell still. So
Luckily
dogs
they
enjoy
don't
it.
luckily our dogs are pretty good. They don't use the bathroom in the house. So
Well, my dogs don't ever go in the house, but they will go in their dog room, which is a concrete floor. It's got like that polyspartic coating, that
yeah.
icon coating, and they just stay in that room all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'll bring them out at night, and they sleep on the couch at the end of my bed. But
Oh man, what's up everybody? What's going on, man? It's been like a month since I've done a podcast. I've been absent on the podcast, you know. Sometimes life just happens. Priorities shift a little bit, you know. We
since you found out you got pregnant, have you done a podcast?
so not no. Well,
So it'll be the first one to tell you congratulations.
yeah, this is the first one that we've done since everyone's publicly
You got
known.
a lot of things going on then.
Yeah, me and her knew. I did a couple podcasts where it was still like a secret, where just me and her knew. But yeah, so this is like the first one back since publicly announcing that we're pregnant, having a kid. So after having a little girl, and so after finding that out, we had a gender reveal party, and then just all kinds of other stuff going on. So yeah, dude, haven't been doing a lot of podcasts, but getting back in the swing of it. So
A lot more reacting to life than planned life.
yeah, yeah, a lot of stuff was definitely more planned, even just like 6 months ago. Now it's like every day is kind of something new, something else is happening. So yeah, dude, figuring it out. It's gonna be exciting stuff.
I remember the days of just having the one coming and then another coming and then another was coming and then another was coming and they won't. Then we made them stop coming.
Yeah,
No more.
yeah, I don't blame you there. Mr. Joe Day, thanks for coming over and hanging out, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
fun to
I'm
get
like,
to hang out with you finally.
yeah, I've talked about it. I feel like on this podcast before with other people, just like the relationships that I make whenever I talk about the gym and working out, and like it's more than just like lifting weights. It's like a community, especially if you have a good gym that you go to, and uh, like quite a few people that I've had on the show, is just like people I've met in the gym, and that's another case. Well, we met, through Dan or whatever, but yeah, another.
Well, we had met at the gym, but we had never talked. Right? We'd seen each
Yeah,
other several times,
yeah,
and um, we hadn't got a chance to talk. But then we still didn't really get the chance to talk at all at the game either. So
yeah,
if it weren't for the gym, there probably wouldn't have been any follow up. And
right, yeah,
and I make a ton of oddball connections and good networking connections both
yeah,
at the gym.
yeah, yeah. That's the gym's a good place for definitely for networking, for sure. That's yeah. I was looking. You're
Which is crazy for me because I felt so intimidated going into the gym.
yeah,
And I just felt like I just want to hide, like wear a mask, and like I don't want anybody to know I'm here, and I don't want to see anybody seeing my boobs bouncing around or nothing. So it went from intimidating to like I was like the best way to get over it is to force yourself into it.
yeah,
It's like conquering your fears, I guess. So I just start talking to people. Like if they made eye contact with me, they must want to say hi, right? Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
yeah,
But a lot of people come over. I've been given gifts and stuff at the gym, like just being nice to people.
yeah.
I've gotten like 3 different Bible books from older ladies.
Damn. Yeah, you figure out like really quick. It's the more you go, the more you're in the gym, you realize like kind of no one's really paying attention to what everyone else is doing for the most part.
Yeah.
Like especially me, if anyone ever sees me like staring in your direction in the gym, normally I'm just like spaced out completely. Like in between sets, I'm just spaced out, thinking the whole time. Like
Sure, that happens a lot. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm
But when you caught me staring at you, no, I was just waiting for you to say hi. So, hey, what's up?
shit. Yeah, so
Teach me how to lift.
how long have you been hitting the gym?
So closing on a year.
Yeah.
I worked out before, and I was in the military before or whatever, but I haven't. A year ago, the thought of running to the end of my driveway would be just unfathomable.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do that.
Right.
So, I've definitely come a long way. I'm pretty addicted to it, and I like being healthy and just fitting in your clothes.
Yeah. Being comfortable.
Right. Nobody's ever fully comfortable topless. So, like,
Yeah.
if you'll ever get to that point, even if you're shredded and got everything that you asked for, but then you get it and still doubt yourself. So,
the insecurities are
melted
there
away one
all
day
the
at a time.
Yeah, and some would argue, the more you start to maybe to develop, kind of develop the physique you want or whatever it is, the insecurities actually they just get stronger.
Yeah, and you critique yourself. Like, as soon as
the
I gave
critiques get
up on,
harder.
I kind of didn't have a specific goal of weight loss anymore. So kind of 5 pounds came on, but I was also lifting and taking creatine and drinking 1.5 gallons of water a day. So I got a lot of extra water weight too. But then, so I just stopped weighing myself for a long time. But then, so sometimes it goes up and down. Then you're like, oh, I'm not happy with this. And you're like, but you lifted way more. So you're stronger and you're healthier and you feel good and you're in less pain this week. So why am I unhappy because I look a little chubbier?
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
Right.
But it does. Yeah. That's the only frustrating part, that I feel like I'm just now coming to that possible body dysmorphia after finding happiness phase. So I'm trying to avoid that and convince my mind to not accept that that's
your perception is always changing.
It's going to be big for you too, because with the daughter thing, like, you really don't want your daughter, like, if you ever hear your daughter, like, ask her friends, like, hey, do I look fat in this? You're like, oh, how could I ever prevent her to ever ask anyone that?
Yeah.
Well, I probably ruined it. I probably asked her if I looked fat in this, and I put that in her head. Now I blame myself for it all the time.
Yeah.
It's also one of the reasons I started working out again, because, like, I feel like I was getting to that point where, even though in ways I'm successful, and I'm successful with my family and businesses and stuff like that, but, like, in some ways I felt like because I was out of shape, I was letting them down.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't being a good role model, especially as my son was like 14, 15 years old. He's starting to get physical and competitive. And I don't, can't let him beat me.
Right. Yeah, it's I guess at that point it kind of just comes down to, because like you say, there's other aspects that, like, with your businesses and all these things that doing good, and it's like, but what kind of example am I setting? And I feel like I made that comment before too. It's like, people say that, like, looks don't matter or whatever, like, this whole thing, and, like, I think that's complete bullshit. I think it's completely different. Whenever, like, someone was, like, telling me, whenever you see someone that walks into a room that's, like, seems to be in shape, has their shit together, versus, like, someone who doesn't, it's like it immediately sets the tone differently.
It does for most people.
For a lot of people. And, like, even if you don't realize that
richer
you're making
class or a higher class of people realize that a lot of people that know all kinds of wealthy knowledge information might wear only sweatpants and holes in their shoes and might drive a beat up car. And that's a great example. Like, my most driven car is my Honda Civic. Yeah. It's like a 2009 gray Honda Civic. It says "Beach Please" on the back, and no one knows it's me.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's the way to be. Yeah,
I gotta drive the logo truck everywhere.
Yeah,
or I can scoot around town in this thing.
Yeah, it's me. Stay low key.
Low key.
Yeah, that's the way.
And then I was thinking about what you were saying about the shapes and bodies of people with showing comfort. I have a guy I went to high school with, and I see him at the gym. He's overweight. He's always been overweight, though. And he's always worn it with so much confidence.
Yeah.
And he's never had a problem pulling tens. He's never had a problem getting along with every dude.
Yeah.
Pushing heavy weight.
Right.
Still have big old boobs, and just take his shirt off in front of everybody and have no self-doubt. Like, you can see it in his face. It's like his head's always leaned back, and, like, he's like cocked back.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. And it's like, I don't want to, but, like, the confidence is awesome.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you just, I don't know how that guy convinced his brain his whole life. I see it, or that's what I perceive more than his body, is the way they carry himself. Because, like, that guy's overweight,
just
but
mindset,
his chest sticks way out here all the time.
Yeah, just
and I love it.
Confidence. Yeah, that you build over time.
And by the way, I'm like, I don't even think we're friends. I don't even think this guy likes me, but I've known him my whole life, and I see him at the gym still, and we're friendly. But, like, and I've just always been jealous of that. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's a
But
yeah.
yes,
Some people
wearing
see.
it, wearing the results does feel good to most people, and for most part, yes, you do look like you belong more, and I love that because, like I said, when I first started the gym, being scared,
Yeah.
looking like I don't fit in, but then also those are the coolest people that I meet. All the people that clearly have lost weight or need to lose weight, and they show up.
Mhm.
They're like the coolest ones to talk to at the gym.
Yeah, it's a yeah. Normally, those people would have like some sort of story or like a
Injury
really good
or
reason,
yeah,
or like a really something's happened, and
yeah.
so they have a really good reason behind why like getting in shape. I just watched a video last night that I sent to Briley, and it was this guy. He said, I think it was like a reel on Instagram, and it was he talking about? Let me pull it up. He was talking about how women, whenever they get pregnant, they have 9 months and they have to follow all these rules, like limited caffeine and like you can't drink and X,
They
Y,
don't have
Z.
to, but go ahead.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of places where some of them don't really care.
Somebody should have told my mom this. Not my adopted mom. She's a nice lady, but
And I'll play it real quick.
I feel like it's when he said it's common sense. If it's common sense, how come none of us have ever thought of that as a challenge? Because I love a challenge. That's how I got to lose weight and got in shape. Was I just kept making small challenges to myself.
Yeah,
Hey, what can I diet for 7 days? Can I diet for? Can I take
yeah,
a walk for however many days?
yeah. Well, that's what you got to do.
Can I do this lift program that my buddy wrote up for me for 6 weeks? Yeah, I could
Yeah,
probably do that.
it's
And then
these
by the time I get
small.
done with 6 weeks, I'm gonna do it again. Like that was
Yeah,
fun. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can lift more weight next time. That'd be cool.
yeah. That's a big problem with so many things. Like I know like whenever I stopped drinking, like at the very beginning, it was kind of scary because the only thing I could think about was like instead of like just not drinking today, I was like, wow, I'm not gonna drink for the next 70 years of my life. Like this is a wild thought. And that's like
Right.
crazy to think about
I'm
coming
not
off of
ready to quit that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
coming off of just like a complete bender for the last however many years. I was like, that's wild to think about. And it's the same thing with like in the gym, people think like whenever they go once and then the idea of like having to come back and do this every single day, like they let it get too big in their head instead of just like keeping things small day to day. Like that's what I feel like I kind of talk about a lot in some of my posts is just like just worrying about the systems that you put in place, just focus on what you can do today. Like don't think about fucking the next however long. Like let's just get through today. And like I don't know, that just works for me. Maybe that's just because I have like I'm just a simple brained type of guy, But for
Well,
me, it's like
most guys prefer to convince themselves to be simple-minded.
yeah, it's like let's not make this a bigger deal than this needs to be.
Exactly.
Let's break this up into little like okay, you like yeah, you want to lose 50 pounds. Well,
Yeah,
that's like
dude. Yeah.
scary.
No, I had no idea I was going to lose weight. I was like, I got on a scale, saw a number I don't love, made me feel sad.
Yeah.
Start thinking about all those things, such as like my kids and all that. And I was like, well, I mean, if we're not just gonna roll over and die, and like you're only 37,
Yeah.
so like, let's see,
Might as well do
let's
something.
let's see what we can do one more time, and like let's at least start with taking like, can we take a walk? Like that was the talk I had to myself. I was like,
Yeah.
can we take a walk every day for 30 days and just see what happens?
Yeah.
I think let's just go from there. And of course, that turned into more effort, and then the
Mhm.
next thing, and yeah.
Yeah.
But addicted quickly to though. Even just taking a walk, I was like, no, I really looked forward to it.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah, yeah, get up and like just start in the morning, every morning, like walking the dogs. Like it's just a
Yeah,
complete as compared to if I just get up and like mosey up to the couch and like,
yeah.
take my time, probably
A
like
lot of
sit
people
on
are going to
Facebook for
struggle
too
with
long.
injuries. Have you gone through injuries and stuff?
Uh, Not like
Man, this has been the year for me.
really.
I've gone through so many things, and I just feel like it's like, well, it's not really good enough. None of them are a good enough excuse. Then I go to the doctor, and they're like, yeah, it's pretty much not a good enough excuse. You're just gonna have to either, stop
Just like
lifting and
neck
stuff.
and stuff. Like,
Yeah, well, I pulled a muscle in my back. I call it my back boob, right back here,
mm,
and so that drives me crazy all the time. And they say I got a pinched nerve in my back, causes a lot of pain in my hip. That's why I start going to chiropractor a lot and
mhm.
doing different adjustments and stuff. Causes me a bunch of pain. I learned that after just by walking.
Yeah.
Then started lifting. That was going great. Got my first hernia. When
Yeah.
got that checked out, they said, but it's not bad enough to do surgery, so just live your life. And when it blows up, call me. So that's what we're doing with that.
Yeah.
And then 2 months ago, and still my wife's driving crazy because I got these weird little balls in my neck. I think they're just like weird swollen lymph nodes that are eventually going to go away. But because I did scans and they don't even show up, so not anything crazy.
Right. No,
The worst one would be got my first hemorrhoid this year.
there you go.
Yeah, there you go, dude.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking about a funny story.
I've had those for years, dude.
Really?
Yeah, like
I was like, "There's a finger coming out of me. What's going on, bro? What the hell is that? Is
Yeah.
the hole falling out right now?"
yeah, shit and blood. Or you
No,
think,
I didn't.
you
No, I
think-
didn't go through any of that craziness.
Well,
It was
it's
just
like,
like
actually shitting blood. You're just
if
like
that thing were to rupture
scab, like,
or
bleeding.
scab over.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have a problem.
Mm,
I went out and bought a bidet. Like I was like, we're not playing games. If this thing comes back, I'm not letting it split open. We're just gonna hose ourselves.
yeah,
We're not wiping.
yeah. No, I've definitely had got to take a picture after using the bathroom. And I got shit into Riley. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I was like, I think I'm like internally bleeding.
Oh yeah, I called for my wife. She was like, "Get over here and look at this for real."
Yeah.
That the answer is always no when I ask you to do this, but I'm really serious this time.
yeah. No, this is bad. I need your help.
Just tell me it's not falling out.
Yeah, I
She
don't.
was just instantly like, "No doubt, you got your first hemorrhoid." And I was like, "No kidding." It's the funniest thing to be able to walk around and be like, "I got my first hemorrhoid."
Yeah.
Make people feel awkward.
Yeah, I've made. Yeah, it's funny that you bring this up because I don't get them really anymore. It's not that bad because
I was just one and done so far.
well, I don't deadlift anymore. That's whenever I used to get them. If I would deadlift, guaranteed like 2 days later, one was popping up 1,000%.
Really?
Yeah, every time, like a fucking routine. And then if I try to like squat too heavy, then guaranteed like a day or two later, one will pop up for sure. So I'm not like a crazy heavy squatter anyway. And then especially now that I'm running, like I'm not trying to squat crazy heavy numbers or anything. And I don't deadlift at all anymore, so I don't really get them. So as long as I avoid those kinds of like,
It's because you're running so much, or are you still lifting?
yeah, I'm still lifting. Yeah, I still lift 3 times a week. So still trying to hit just like a push pull legs type of schedule.
Okay, that sounds easy to commit to. Well, I mean, plus you got a lot of running going, so.
Yeah, about 34 miles a week right now. Over, I don't know, 4 runs. One
Yeah.
long run of 15.
I'm telling you, these runs are killing me. They are brutal, and
It's
I
hot.
take care of myself. No, I'm okay with the heat. I haven't had a problem anyway, but I mean, it's either morning or evening for me.
Yeah.
It's just all the little pains. Got the plantar fasciitis, old man foot, I call it. But I found a way to treat that. So running through that, and then running through this hip and back pain stuff. So that's what I mean. You got to keep. When those goals come into play of trying to get in so many miles, I'm just like, it don't matter if your back hurts or if my foot hurts, I'll walk it. So I just
Yeah.
don't stress it out.
Right.
I'm a terrible swimmer, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I would like to, I always like the triathletes or like doing Ironmans or something like that. Like the swimming is the only reason I could never do it. If it was in a pool, I would do it. But like I don't swim in like ponds, rivers. You're not getting me in the water. It scares me to fucking death. I don't like it. I don't like water that I can't see what's going on in there. I'm not getting in it.
That's common, but I mean, you should get over the pond thing because there's nothing in there that's gonna
No way.
hurt you.
I don't know that.
The worst thing
didn't know
anything in
that.
there that anything you could do is pinch your toe.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing. You might step on like a crawdad and he decides to pinch your toe.
Yeah, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
I'd be freaking out. Like the worst thing.
I
you
would
can
love
do
to see you
me-
freaking out.
if anyone ever wanted to like kidnap and torture me and just like do me just dirty, completely dirty, you just take me out into like the middle of a river and just toss me in. And then just like wait for me to swim to the edge and just pick me up again and take me back out and do that over and over.
I
Because
would make it to the end.
I'd be panicking. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would probably go underwater and be like sucking the water trying to.
I have a lake at my house, and I tried to swim across it because I thought for sure I could do it. Well, I'll swim in the lake. That's not a big deal. But I thought for sure I could swim across it. I could not. My wife had to come out and help me. Like, I thought I was going to die. I'm not even kidding. Like, I'm a really bad swimmer.
Why?
I think it's because my legs are heavy and I'm stupid.
You just feel heavy in the
I don't
water.
know.
You think? Just...
It's post-traumatic stress from being in the desert.
Yeah, you say you say he's in the military.
No, I have no idea why, but I'm just no. I'm bad with water.
You just don't like the water.
It just looks
So
like
you
more of
want
a
to see
doggy
the-
paddle or a survival. I mean, I get through it,
Sure,
but
yeah.
it's also I'm heavy.
It is pure survival.
Just holding myself up just feels like so much work.
Not really much swimming, just pure surviving in the fucking water.
Yeah, and water gets in my face, and I don't like it. I have to wipe my face, and then my legs will fall from underneath me if you don't keep swimming. You don't keep your legs
Yeah.
out, and then
Yeah.
you start to drown.
Yeah.
And that's when the gym teacher starts yell, "Hurry up, Joe! Stop!
Yeah.
You suck! Quit messing with me!" And I'm like,
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah,
yeah. Freshman year was the worst. Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That's what's
Screw you, Mr. Zwilling. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what's crazy. It's like I'm a pretty good swimmer, pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Like I can get it. It's not that. It's not that. Like if you drop me off in the river, I'm
yeah. You
swimming
said
out
I'm
of
swimming back. No, I'm dead.
it. Like yeah,
Just
I'm swimming out of it.
It's my nightmare too. My nightmare is like I will do absolutely anything. I'll punch my
But-
wife in the face before I let her dunk me in the water. Like I'm not letting anyone
Like-
dunk me.
I'm swimming out of it, but I'm in tears the whole time. It's like I'm crying. I promise. Like I'd be
See, if I
bawling.
started to cry in the water, I'm definitely drowning just from that.
Yeah, I don't. That's the only reason I could never do that because I'm not getting in.
Yeah, I was
out
going to
there
drown
naked.
without the tears. So
Yeah, no,
screw
I
with
would.
tears.
Mm-mm. Yeah, even lakes. I don't like to like we go boat and stuff with Riley's parents and like I gotta use a bat. Like I gotta take a piss. You're gonna have to like stop. I gotta get on land.
Okay, well then, no worries. I don't own a boat, so I won't be doing that. I do
What,
flip houses.
What branch of the military are you in?
I was in the guard.
Were you?
Yep,
How
Army
long-
Guard here in town.
Yeah, how long did you do that?
6 years.
Did you?
Mhm.
Do you enjoy it?
Parts of it.
Yeah. I a guy at work is in the guard. I think he just stopped doing it not too long ago. Yeah, you
There were some people that are still in that I was with.
really.
Yeah, there's one guy, last name's Patterson. He's been in for 20 years now.
How does that work? Is that you go to like basic and then you report, or does that like once a month or something, or how does the guard work?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know
I
much
don't know how
about
much
it.
you want to know there, but yeah, you pretty much summed it up. There's also a 2-week
Yeah.
drill for most people. That's their unit minimum.
Yeah,
Now there's full-time opportunities if you're looking for them. And then,
right.
a lot of people do get mixed up and have a hard time transferring because they think go guard, then transfer to active duty if you like it later.
Yeah,
I feel like that's not true because then you should have gone Army Reserve because what you sign up for the guard, you're state funded, and if you sign up for the reserve, you're federally
federally
funded.
funded.
So that's an easy switch. But going from state to federal, I always saw people struggle with it. So, and I wanted to do that. And then, I mean, I was so young and got deployed so fast that I already had so much time in service. If I were to transfer, it was going to become like a career. And I basically learned quickly I did not want to do it as a career.
So you did get deployed?
Yeah, I did
Was
1
it-
year in Iraq.
Did you?
hmm
How was that?
2008, 2009. Yeah, like I said, it was hot. That's why I joked about having PTSD
Yeah.
from swimming, about being in the desert.
Yeah. Damn. What was it like? When? How old were you whenever you went to Iraq?
I turned 21 over there.
Did you?
hmm
Damn.
My 16-year-old daughter loves to give me a hard time because I missed her birth. But it was also my firstborn. So this is kind of weird. If it's not your firstborn, you don't go home. If it is your firstborn, you do go home. But it was still like an emergency C-section thing, so I was late. So I still made it, and then I just went right back.
Just had to go right back. Huh?
Yeah.
What was he doing over there?
A lot of convoy security is what almost everybody did over there.
Just moving,
trucks from one base to another,
really.
protecting a group of convoy semi trucks moving from one spot to another, most likely hauling our supplies, moving them from one spot to another, things like that.
Did you guys see any action?
You just provide security for that. Everybody saw something different, but no, I never had to shoot anybody. Then anytime I ever got shot at, I don't know where it came from. You would just hear it because you'd just be driving the road, and because there's no like stand up and fight, then there's not gonna be a gun battle in Iraq
Right.
because it was like a guy with a gun. So he was
one guy.
right.
Dude, I've
These are
heard-
insurgents that we've already pushed out, like the main army. You know what I mean? Like they have like a force or a cartel, let's call it, like whatever helps you wrap your mind around a large group of dudes that willing to fight with a bunch of large weapons and tanks and guns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're all real Mad Max style over there. And then, but we just come through with some helicopters and drones and bomb, and then boom, they're all gone. And then we just move in and set up a camp there. And then we slowly start to get bigger and bigger, and then we start to push out, and then basically just push them all the way out of Iraq, and then hold them out, and then we're just stuck, kind of kicking out all the leftovers. But for the most part of what I did, like I said, was convoy security. So we're just driving from one base room to another, hoping that the people that were basically left over didn't blow us up or take some random shots at us.
Right.
So like when you get out of your truck, you just want to be cautious because
Yeah.
that's when a couple random pop shots will come off because they don't want you to figure out where the shots came from. So they'll just take a couple and then disappear.
Dip.
Right. They'll pop outside in the middle of the night, shoot off a mortar, and then run back inside with the equipment because they know that, like we'll just send out a drone, it'll have a heat.
Yeah.
So they're going to see it, and then we're just going to blow up that building.
It's all like cave systems, and they got, was it shit like that, or is that like Afghanistan?
Cave systems? Oh, yeah, that's Afghanistan.
Afghanistan,
Yeah.
those like
Caves and mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least in the
Iraq's
section of
strength.
Iraq. I mean, Iraq's a little bit bigger than I think Indiana, so in size. So if I'm up at the top during Mosul, and then I go down to like Indianapolis level, mid-state, like I still didn't get to anything below that. I visited like Camp Anaconda and Mosul for different trips that missions that we would have, but
Right.
I was mostly stationed in the very northern section.
Mm. Damn.
So it was very much just a big old desert.
Yeah. Just out in the open, huh?
Yeah, it didn't feel like it because they have 20-foot sand barrier walls all the way around us, and it's probably. I'm just gonna have to throw out a random guess here. I'm gonna say like in diameter, if it were just a big circle, it's got to be 25 miles.
Mm. How?
Like they would
Did you-
have buses moving people around on base, so
Yeah.
and it would take you a good while to get from one side to the other.
It's like a whole little city over there. Huh?
And yeah, every base is like that. But then even if they're small, the smaller bases,
Their bases similar
could
to
have
the ones
freaking
that are
Taco
here
Bell.
in the United States.
not in size,
Not not
but in like
that
layout
luxury,
and sound,
but,
but yeah, like they'll bring in a like a Connex building and
Yeah.
put a freaking Taco Bell in it for the guys. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
and they'll house a Starbucks there, and then they'll
Yeah.
build an MWR, which is where you'll go for your mobile devices, and the gym. They'll all be at the MWR, and then a theater, and then USO will have a bunch of stuff, and they'll set up tents. Big tents, and then they'll have like a library, and they'll get Wi-Fi going, and they'll have a little town.
Yeah.
Like regardless of how much size they have, they will make it like a town.
Right.
They'll have everything.
Yeah. That's wild.
It is wild, and it's awesome, and it's cool to see. But then as soon as you see it, you wish you could just be like, "Okay, cool, I saw it." And now
Yeah. Yeah.
the army has a way of sucking the fun out of everything
Yeah.
that was supposed to be awesome. They just
Right.
kill it.
How did you just volunteer for that? Like
Yeah, I'd
did
signed
you
up
go
when I
for
was-
National Guard and you ended up in Iraq.
Oh yeah, it happened so fast. I joined when I was 17. I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
And so I went to basic training between my junior and senior year. And then I came back, did my senior year, almost graduated. And then went and did my AIT or tech school or whatever branch. It's called different things. But
Yeah.
and I was a cannon crew member. So I went back to Fort Sill, finished that, and then came back to the unit. And then it was only, I'm not exactly sure, but 10, 11 months after that, we were already getting deployed. So
Damn.
And I thought I was going to go to college, and I thought I was going to do either get into full-time recruiting, maybe go active duty even, or I don't know. There just was weighing different options. So then the deployment came up, and then I deployed, and I got out of college. I was in criminal justice at Oakland City, and then when I came
Yeah.
back, that was a no-go. So then I picked up business classes and finished out at Indiana Business School, which
Yeah.
then became Harrison College, and then they became nothing. They just closed doors
Where's that at?
in Evansville.
Oh, I gotcha. When so whenever you got out of that, did you go straight into flipping houses? That was, or what did you? Did you said you finished? You got some business classes. What was kind of your?
When I was taking business classes, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And then I went hunting with a friend of mine. He was talking about wanting to start a business. I was like, cool, what do you want to do? Because I'm like excited to start a business and I just can't stop thinking of stuff. But do you want to do one? I want to do one right now.
Yeah.
And then I came up with First Patriot. And then he got a job at the coal mines. So I ran with it. And then that's a painting contracting company. And then, like any company that's been in business long enough and does well enough or is blessed to do well enough, you make enough money to say, what do I do with this money? And so when I got to that point, I bought my first rental property, and I was like, hey, I think that's a smart idea, and I have a plan. Call it my own dumb man's plan. Everybody's got their own plan for
Yeah.
investing. But
Yeah.
I was going to buy some rental properties, so I bought the rental properties, and then I set a term for when I wanted them paid off. I got those paid off, and I got more than the goal was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, might as well flip this house along the way because I saw it and just started driving by it and I just kept seeing it in Newburgh.
Yeah.
I was like, why is nobody buying that house? I think it was $95,000. It was a 3-2 one-level ranch with a pool out back.
Damn.
I ended up selling it to a guy that worked for Castle High School band director. And awesome little house. I was very excited to get it. And I just called the bank. I just made a call. I was like, hey, can I get this? And they're like, yeah, we'll fund it. This is how that would work. I'm like, okay, cool. So I do have the money and I have enough. And I think I asked for a lot of people to do it with me, but nobody wanted to partner with me because they said, if we split it, we'll only make 25,000 each in 6 months. And I was like, but that's awesome, right? Well, a lot of people didn't think that was enough. So I did it
Right.
myself. I made the 50. I found people to help me outside of my regular crew to help me because I couldn't pull from them because I'm just robbing Peter to pay Paul and making the same amount of money or losing.
Sure.
So I got to keep that going while I flip. Otherwise, there's no
Yeah.
point.
Right.
So I got to get separate people to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got through it and then made money, and then everybody was down to do it with me, but I didn't need it anymore because now we've already raised the capital to be able to do the
Sure.
next one.
Yeah.
But the only reason I got the next one is because the neighbor came over and said, Mom and Dad passed away. Would you buy this one? I said, I'm no flipper, but I'll pay you the same per square foot, and I'll try to sell it for the same per square foot, just like I did this one. And so I did that one. Now I've done two, and they're all in the same neighbor, right next to each other. And then I did another one right outside the neighborhood. It looked like the exact same house as flip two. So, and I got it for the same price. Again, no brainer.
Right.
And then 4 and 5 also really close to each other. Only the fifth one was in Castle District, so it was on the other side of Newburgh. But all in Newburgh, and all but one were bi-levels.
Yeah.
They're very similar to your house here.
Right. Yeah, that's what that one down there's a bi-level too that you're working on.
Yep.
It seems like a lot of houses.
I know. I feel like I'm the bi-level king of flipping in Newburgh or something. Like I just can't stop. But it just worked out. And
yeah, I want to get into flipping some houses. That
everyone says that. But then it's like buying a boat. It's like everybody says they want to buy a boat.
Yeah.
And it's awesome the day you get it and the day you sell it and everything in the middle sucks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It just, like, obviously the beginning is just the worst part. It's like if you just get through the first house and just, like, get a little bit of money out of your first house, it's just like, it just seems like that first one is terrifying.
Yeah, the first one, I felt like it wasn't because I felt super safe. Like, I was like, I got this house as a steal.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I want to do. I've already priced everything. I know what it's going to cost, and no, I can't physically hands-on do it all myself, but I will find people and then supervise them, make sure they did a good job. That's easy.
At that price, like
it is hard to find people to put. It's almost impossible. I don't know how anybody does what I do because I don't know how they find the people that I have because I struggle to find them.
Yeah. Yeah, is that an issue, finding workers and seems like everyone's having trouble finding workers anymore these
It's
days.
kind of like when people don't hire me. I think I don't know how you can afford not to. Like if you're interested in doing this kind of project, I don't know how you could
Yeah,
consider almost anyone else.
right.
Anyone that I would trust probably isn't available.
Yeah. Yeah, and anyone that is good that you're trying to get work through, yeah, you're 6 months out or
And
however far along or
it could be you most likely a lot more expensive.
yeah,
And it's valuable because they are booked out and they are reliable and they'll come back and fix it.
right. Damn.
But to find like a general contractor to like flip the whole just flip the whole house, do everything but painting, then I'll send the paint crew over. Like it's almost impossible to find somebody that can do that for 25-30,000. That's a big request for 5-6 weeks of their time. Maybe 3-4 guys working it. Costs can add up, especially if they're a legitimate company. Like they're actually paying
Yeah.
payroll and paying taxes, then that's barely enough. So you got to get them while they're willing to work with you. So like right now, I feel blessed because I have a new licensed general contractor, but I know that soon he'll be busy throwing up subdivisions and stuff like most of the other
Yeah.
ones and building the whole house.
Sitting around here is
Yeah.
freaking insane right now.
Yes,
It's
it should be more. It should be way more. The housing market, we're not keeping up.
Yeah.
Like you talk to a lot of realtors, they all say, "Yeah, we're really not even keeping up."
Yeah, well, it just seems like there's always people moving in over here. Like that's
Every apartment complex that goes up, I'm like, "Who's gonna live there?" And then it's full instantly.
yeah. Well, everyone they just built that one over. Uh, I don't know that one over there. It's in Evansville technically, but
They
there's
just put like 3 or 4 right there in between East Side Evansville and Newburgh, and with Walmart.
oh yeah,
Yeah, all up and
yeah,
down that road on both sides
Yeah.
of the Lloyd Expressway.
yeah, yeah. It seems like they just now would be the time to.
And then by Castle, the what's that Castle South? By Castle North. By Castle North, they put them up, and those rented out really, really quick. Big money maker.
Yeah, yeah. I knew those ones that, like I said, they'd built. I'm trying to remember where the hell what that road is called. It's over by Costco where they just put all those apartments up at, and like I said, they had just finished like 3 of them, maybe, and within like the first week, like I drove by and there was just vehicles all lined up out there completely filled.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus
And
Christ.
and I even quoted some of those jobs, but they still also get really cheap labor rates, and they're still smart investors. They must be,
Right.
and they're
So many people flooding Illinois right now. Seems like
yeah.
yeah, that place fucking yeah. The
I'm not caught up with any of that.
well, just the taxes is outrageous. The taxes and the whole.
You think they're flooding from there to here?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And I know Pritzker I don't know if it went through or not. I know Pritzker over there had just like talking about another bill he's getting ready to add. It's like a mileage tax where you have to pay so much per mileage that you drive every single day. Like all kinds of extra shit like that. But and I've seen a lot of people saying that'll be their final straw if he does something like that. It's like the
People can always say that, but housing market and stuff's always going to sell. Someone else is always going to make
yeah.
it. So
Well, that's what keeps everyone over there for the most part is just like the houses. Like it's and moving over here, you figure out how quickly the difference in
I
housing.
wish I had all the answers so I knew where to build and when they were moving out, and I'd have a house ready for them. I just don't know, and Trump won't tell me what stocks to buy either. And I'm just,
Dude,
without somebody directly saying this is the one.
he's
I don't
finding
know
all the cheap labor out of here, dude. Fuck.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
all the people that and that's like
Well, not all of them. I mean, they are good at hiding.
yeah, there's like yeah, however you feel about the immigration and whatever, it's like at the end of the day, there is like a reality to the fact of like a lot of these people that are in this country that are from other countries are doing work that a lot of these Americans over here aren't willing to do. And especially at the price. Like it's not, you're not going to be able to compete with,
Well, the quality, especially. Because I'm having a lack of quality. When I hire these white guys, I tell you, those are a white painter Find another white painter that looks as like just healthy
Yeah.
as I do, because they're not out there. They're just like, but then a lot of them aren't bad people. But I haven't met one yet that is, well, maybe a couple that I'm training right now to be painters. But
Yeah.
like just I've been a painter my whole life. Painter guys have either have a current addiction of some kind,
Mhm.
or
Yeah, that's
we'll fall off again soon. And a lot of them disappear on benders. I mean, there are, if they're out there, I haven't met them. If I have met them, then they own their own business. They're
yeah,
not painting for us, and that's what
right.
I almost wish we could. Some of the owners could get together and work together a little bit better. I've done a great job, in my opinion, of course, of doing that, because I try to talk to people when I meet them, and I share my shop space, offer and ask for their opinions and knowledge is usually the best way to go about meeting the other contractors.
Yeah.
Even if I already know the answer,
Mhm.
ask their opinion on something.
Yeah.
Let them,
Yeah, feel included.
yeah,
For
feel
sure.
included, or talk to me, or feel like they're teaching me something. Good, great. Now you have an
Yeah.
interest. And then, there's always ways to share work and send work to others. Like maybe I don't want to paint cabinets, so I send that to someone
Yeah.
else.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I know they just had some raids up around this area not long ago, and like I said, there's a fine, like I said, it's not to like get all political, but it's like, people that are here illegally committing crimes, like absolutely shouldn't be here. But like some of these people that
I think that's
are
all
like,
more related to those bigger cities where they
yeah,
actually are having problems because
right,
cartel members can come right over before they can even commit, get caught.
yeah,
They're able to do a lot, then they, most likely are going to get caught. But
yeah,
still, if a whole lot come at one time, I'm assuming, I don't know. And I don't follow a lot of the news past, what you just said. It could sum up my capacity of information on that topic. But I do feel really bad for the families, and I just want to keep everybody together and keep them happy and whatnot. But at the same time, you can't expect the government to pay for everything. So
hmm
there's definitely a left versus right that's always going to exist.
always. It's like
And no matter how much we all want to land in the middle, and then that's going to make other people mad because if they're like, pick one and fight your fight,
yeah,
you punk.
that's what everyone
So
thinks. Like you have to pick a side.
do
I,
we?
I don't think so. I don't think I have to. Like, if you
When's
guys
that
want
going
to
to help?
if you
When was the last time I voted and then went home and be like, I just made a difference? Never.
yeah,
I've gone and voted and felt like I don't even know why I bothered every single time. And like I could have predicted what was going to happen anyway.
yeah.
Did I think Obama was going to lose? No. Did I think Trump was going to win? Yeah. Did either one of them need my help? Nope.
That's that's what a lot of people's perspective on it is. That's why there's so many people that don't vote.
It's based on your state a lot heavily.
There's a ton of people
But
that don't.
if you think it's going to be close, then yeah, voting can matter. But do we really know? Do we really know? It could all be a sham. Like, have you seen Hunger Games? Have you seen the Hunger Games?
I'm full.
Like without the costumes, we're kind of lit. We could be living that. It makes
In the
perfect
Hunger
sense.
Games,
Yeah.
like all in a dome. Is that what you think? Do you think
We
they
could
would
be
on a dome?
Well,
think
no,
like
that's
this?
only like no,
Is
they're
that
all
what
just
you're-
separated out into districts. But I'm just saying the way they controlled the media and what everybody get
Yeah.
to hear, and they were like, hey, this
Yeah.
district, you hear that. We do live in districts, we live in states, we live
Yeah.
in countries, and we get different media sources, and
So-
they all control what they're telling
That's what I
us.
thought was so weird. They just fired and all these fucking people from the news, right? Whatever, all these weather people and all whatever. They had these huge layoffs from the news company, like I don't know, like 6 months ago or something in the area. And now we get like all of our stuff is broadcasted out of some news station in Tennessee, gets sent here and report. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like I know we're just talking about weather, but I'm like, I think this is how it starts. Like they just like they pulled all the news out of here, and now we're
Conspiracies
getting it.
are so easy to get wrapped into, but then I guess the only way I convince myself is that everybody that is just somebody. Everyone that you think is some genius, I guarantee if you sat down with the president, you'd be like, he's just a dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's smart, but he's not like insanely smart like I
Yeah.
freaking hoped he would be.
Right. Yeah, dude. That was my biggest issue. Like the last election, I'm just like, we gotta do
Every election in my lifetime, we've like, these aren't really, no one's happy with their options, but we're also going to complain. We're gonna pick one of our bad options. Everyone's unhappy with our options, but we're gonna pick one and then complain about it.
Every 4 years,
Why are we complaining
everyone's
about
so bad at the options, and I'm like, yeah, okay, like,
And one person doesn't control everything. There are checks and balances, and then we can
well,
complain about that. Then Senate has too long of seat terms.
yeah,
Congress can be there forever.
there should be age limits.
Yeah.
I don't think whatever decisions you were making in, you know, the middle of the 1900s,
There's plenty of
we
new
should still be
smart
doing the
people,
same
yeah.
things today. Like
Sure.
I think times have changed.
Yeah.
Let's let's maybe freshen
Right.
this up a little bit. Let's
Right.
let's clean some dust off here and put some flowers on the table and let's spruce some shit up, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's almost comical. It really is. Like whenever you start getting into the whole political stuff and yeah, conspiracies, I don't know, but it's like how many conspiracies have to keep being true before we're like, okay, maybe
How
we're
hot?
just completely
How hot
lied
does
to.
jet fuel burn?
Dude. That is crazy. That's been going. I've been seeing a ton of stuff about that, which it comes back to some people think Israel was responsible for
Like
it.
I went to the 9/11 towers after, and I was just looking at it. Even the whole time I'm there and in it, I'm like, it's not freaking possible.
This thing's
It
not.
doesn't even make sense. And then I watched the timeline, and then it's having all these questions and all these responses. Not to mention, back to we're all just people. We have this unfathomable idea that like our military is like just so ridiculously insane that and you're gone. Oh yeah, then why were we in Iraq for 10 years twice?
20
Boots on ground. Why do we have boots on the ground? We
Yeah.
have airplanes and helicopters and stuff. We haven't been done bombing them yet.
Or like if our shit is
And
so
it's not for money. It's not for oil. Then why are we here? We might as well take some oil. Was my thought. I don't know if we did or not.
yeah, and it's like we hunted down Bin Laden for 10 years, and it's like again
Did you watch that video?
the latest
The-
documentary on. They just said they just
and you
released
watched like you can read the book, you can watch the movie, whatever. But the SEALs, and they actually like, oh, glorify us. We knew for a long time that he was there in this compound. Took us a really long time to get the approval to do anything. And then when we got the approval, we sent 2 helicopters, super expensive, stealthy ones, the
brand new,
coolest
had never
ones.
been used.
Crashed one.
It was the first mission.
Then
they'd been used.
continued to pretend like we were sneaking in.
Yeah. They were 3 miles from a military base. I'm like, you came in with 2 helicopters and crashed one 3 miles from from a military base.
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting our military.
Everybody was so
I'm
quick
just
to
saying. I'm like,
say we did a great job, and I was just thinking,
and then they were so quick to get rid of the body.
do better.
They were so quick to just get rid of it.
They're so quick.
I'm like, I don't know,
Shit.
man. I don't know.
And if that's really what happened, maybe we shouldn't have told anybody what happened. Couldn't we lie or just keep your mouth shut for the next 15 years so that everybody doesn't know we crashed that new helicopter? Don't you think that'd be embarrassing?
Yeah, well, they had to blow it up before they left.
You know what? Let's just go back and kill if that really happened. I was the president. I'm like, well, okay, we're gonna wipe that out. We're gonna build a new building. We're gonna blow it up, record the whole thing. We're gonna have a fake Bin Laden in there. We'll kill him, get it all on camera, and then we'll run that, and then we'll look really awesome.
Yeah, it's like
So if they were actually that smart, they would have played it. So why'd they play it like we're dumb? Are they just trying to keep us? Is that really what's going on then?
it is also like I said, I'm not like trying to act like I'm a military genius, but I'm just like with advanced. That's all you hear about how advanced everything is. I'm like, 10 years to find this guy, like I don't know, man. Because it's weird because then you see America use like certain shows of force, right? Like the atom bomb or things like that, and it's like okay,
And we got bombs,
we
got
like
rockets.
every now and then America shows a little glimpse of like what we can do. But then it's like it takes 10 years to find Bin Laden. And I'm like, see, I'm not buying that shit.
What they can do is like all Air Force and Navy and the Marines that have all those giant machines, helicopters, planes, boats, those could level countries really, really quickly. But we don't ever fight like that.
Yeah.
We with the
Which
obsession with
sometimes I don't think that we should be.
like yeah.
Like I get hunting down Bin Laden, I understand. But then it was like all the time that was spent in Afghanistan. And now there's a lot of like soldiers that are coming out and are openly expressing their opinions about the fact that they're like, yeah, we were like the whole time we were like, why are we here? Like, what are we doing over here? You know, we're over here helping build schools or like do all this shit. Which then there's like
Operation
conspiracies.
Iraqi Freedom was the last half of the war, so setting them up to live freely
Live
and
by
be able
themselves.
to defend themselves and
There was,
teach
like,
them how to.
Also, remember we're
Which-
defending the poppy fields over there, and like maybe we're helping the export and import of heroin all across the like you can dive into that whole rabbit hole, but there is an
If
insane
you're doing
amount
any of
poppy
that, they're
that
not
comes
going to
from
tell
there.
anybody. So
Yeah, it's yeah, you're only ever gonna know as much as they want you to know anyway.
you join the military not to be political, but to just have peace of mind in life because you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about what we're doing tomorrow. It doesn't
It
matter
doesn't matter.
because they're going to tell you what to do. It's not like you're going to get a
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah.
So whenever they tell you to do it, that's what you'll do. And then everything
Yeah.
else, you can kind of just chill and wait.
See, yeah, what a wild time. That's what I was just talking with some buddies at work. We're, the last like 5 years has been like a fucking movie. Like, just the things that have happened, and now it's like we're almost back in World War III. Like, Trump gets shot twice, gets shot at 3 different times. It's like, what is going on? Like, this is just.
Yeah. Well,
We're living at a time now that's going to be all in the history books in like 50 years from now. We're going to be old, like reading these books and like, you remember? Like,
but it's always going to be like that.
yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, because it's.
You remember the Kennedy assassination. I mean, great
Mhm.
example. Like on and down from there, ever since everybody's life, it's always been crazy. And we've always had pretty bad options for presidents. And
Yeah.
we've always been nervous. It feels like it's always the end of the world.
Yeah, well,
Well, you're 24, right?
27.
You're 27. I'm 37. I'm 10 years older than you, and so I've lived through at least 10 more end of the worlds than you because there's one every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I bet we could ask ChatGPT because my memory's not the best to be able to fire them all off, but I guarantee there was an end of the year every single year of my
All
life.
the time. Yeah, well,
Like,
hell, we've had a
from
couple.
Mayans to Y2K to COVID. Like those are just three that are popping in my head quickly, but
Yeah.
there's always been something.
Yeah. There's a. In fact, there's a.
Russia starts a war. China's building a bomb. Who knows what they're always talking about something.
Yeah.
China was going to take Taiwan. We were really worried about that. That
Mhm.
happens. The whole World War III. I think the news is bored, and we really
Yeah.
got to get people's attention. They're down to TikTok videos. We got to have 3-second attention getters.
Yeah. I've stayed off the TikTok
So
lately.
how can you blame the media for being like World War III? It's coming now. Of course, because
Yeah.
we'll tune in for a minute. If
Oh.
it's not World War III, don't even bother us anymore because it's always the end of the world.
Yeah,
So
you
until
think-
the bomb is sent, don't even bother me.
Yeah, it's like more cities got blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like when you get mortared in Iraq and you hear them come in and the sirens go off. They expect you to gear up, even if it's in the middle of the night, and go get under the bunkers. Well, you learn real quick. You wait, feel the explosion, and then determine if they were even close to you or not. Because otherwise, it is to like,
Yeah.
it's on the other side of the base. I'm not wasting my time.
Right.
Yeah, the first few times, no matter what, you grab your helmet, you haul ass over there, and you jump in that bunker, and you're like, hurry up, buddy, get in here.
Everyone's just walking. And you're like,
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
Yeah, but a year in, you're just kind of walking around with a cigarette in your mouth, looking up, and you're like, I hope this thing takes me out.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see how close we can get under it before it lands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, it turns into a game, and that's it. I think people do that with a lot of things. Is that like that's got to be some sort of like coping thing that you develop of just like a high stress situation where you're like,
It's because
You
it's
can't just
hot.
be
We don't have
stressed
to
out.
gear up, and then
Like-
because you could also get in trouble for being outside your designated place without all your gear.
yeah,
So you should have been geared up, and then we got to go out there. We risk getting in trouble. Plus, we got to get all of our shit. And we're in the middle of watching King of Queens. We got stuff going on,
right. Yeah, we're fucking busy. We don't have time to be watching these mortars right now.
right? Because a lot of times, for the most part,
Run-
when you're over there, you're
Exactly.
running like you'll run a mission, and then you'll have so many hours off, and then you'll run a mission, and then you'll have so many hours off, and then you'll run a mission, and you have so many hours repeat. It's just like having a
Right.
job.
Yeah,
And if you're not going on a mission, then you're showing up to formation and you're showing up to headquarters and you're asking what you're supposed to do. Like you're going to have to check
Yeah.
with somebody. You're not just going to have the day off.
Right.
We've had days off where we were pulling weeds out of the motor pool in Iraq. God forbid some grass would grow
Yeah, in the middle of the desert.
in the middle of the desert. But yeah, mopping the concrete in the rain. That didn't happen in Iraq, but I did get in trouble once. I had to empty a, it's like 4 foot by 4 foot full of sand. Here's a shovel, empty it, and then fill it back up.
Dang. Just something to stay busy, huh?
It's okay. I got some headphones in. Just got me a good workout. I was young at the time. I didn't even mind it.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing else
It's
to
fine.
do.
Yeah, it's just like plus when you're young, like it's just like being punished by my dad. It's just like, well, boy, you got to listen. You messed up, didn't you? I was like, yes, sir, I messed up. What do I have to do?
Damn. Over in Iraq, dude, fucking digging holes, huh? For the sake of your
The things you could do for your country if you sign up.
and you end up in some sandbox digging holes. I guess that's the way. I guess that's the way it goes, huh?
Yeah,
Whenever you sign up, I guess that's what you're just prepared for.
you just do what you're told.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You get in trouble, do what you're told.
Damn. You grow up? Are you from Newburgh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to all 3 castles.
Did you? How do you like growing up in Newburgh?
I had a great childhood. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Yeah.
Married my best friend from school.
Did you?
So yeah, Brandy, my wife's been my best friend since we were we met when we were 13.
Damn.
And we didn't date till after I got back from Iraq, but she was like the first person that I was with after.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because I was we'd always just been really good friends, and that was 100% it, at least as far as I knew. I was just like 100%. That's just never going anywhere, and I had no intentions of it going anywhere.
Yeah.
She was actually usually dating one of my friends, so it was weird when she was expressed interest, and I was like, actually, that'd probably be a freaking good idea. Why didn't I think of that? And because we get along really well,
Yeah.
and we have similar personalities and stuff. But you're smart, and you're really good with numbers, but you're an introvert. I don't mind talking to people, and you hate that. She cringes at the thought of having to call a client to ask if this date works. I don't want to call. I'm like, give me the phone.
Right.
No problem. So we're a great match, and we each had a child from before, and I was like, I'll be a great dad. You'll be a great mom. I'm in the market. Let's make this happen. It's a perfect fit. So timing wise, it was all great.
It all worked.
And so, yeah, I can't complain about coming from a place where I was able to make all that happen. And then I always thought whether I'm well liked or not, because you're from the town, you feel like you know everybody maybe, and maybe that's why you can start a business.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with it. If you've ever heard more people, strangers will make you rich faster than a friend will ever do business with you, or however that's said. But either way, however it's said, it's definitely right. And what I said is right too, because I do get some support, and I get a lot of from people I knew from high school, maybe a handful of people I've done jobs for, been referred for.
Right.
But most of them weren't even ones that I thought were actually that I was closer to. The ones I was closer to, not so much, but just people that know of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but doing your own networking is just how you're going to get going anywhere.
Yeah.
Whether or not you gain traction is all going to be intent and purpose and the way you carry yourself and whether you want it to work or not.
Yeah, that's a good saying. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it'll never. Yeah, the support will definitely be from
strangers,
outsiders, or people.
Just random people call me all the time and sign up projects, big and small. A lot of times, the people I would never think would sign up do.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time, and I could. So many ups and downs with that, but it's awesome to be in a town that is constantly growing, and new people, new money come in, and a lot of people also just like to be supportive of me or my business because we're veteran owned and operated.
Yeah.
Because I've been in business for a long time, got a bunch of reviews.
Right.
The most reviews, which is surprising because some people do have bigger companies, arguably better. If I'm not, I got to be at least top 5. It's unarguable for painting. So with that being said, I just feel like we could do more together.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, it seems. That's. I feel like what you got going on as far as the business, that's something that you know, would be a goal of mine. Just like the idea of having your own schedule, like,
I don't. Not at all.
but like,
Zero of my own schedule. 100%. Everyone says that, like the best thing you can do if you're ADHD is have an exact schedule all the time. Really stay to it. Follow through with
does
it.
that help you?
Oh, it's amazing, but I don't live that way at all. I can't.
Yeah.
I cannot do it because I'll schedule tomorrow to be off, for example, and that'll be my busiest day. I'll take the most calls. I can't just ignore my phone.
Right.
So I'll have a bunch of messages, and it's whether it's producing or it's actual leads, or maybe I get a lot of calls of just teach me, tell me, what about this? What do you think about that? People looking for some kind of advice or guidance on something.
Yeah. You start scheduling consultation calls.
Yeah, maybe. Or I start doing AI. So like if somebody's thinking about changing their space, I can show them what that would look like and things like that. And I was like, I say I should start charging for that, but it's really just kind of I'm finding it so fun, and I've only done it a handful of times. I don't think I would actually charge somebody for that. Charge you to get on Facebook and tell everybody I just did that for you. That's all I want. Get on the mom group. Yeah, that's where I really need to be locked in. So you got to get in the mom group because dads don't care about what color their house is painted. They don't care what color. What color is this? Do you even know?
No,
You don't know.
No idea.
Your wife probably picked it.
She
right?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I told her, I was like, I want something kind of looks like this sort of color, and she went and picked it out.
So yeah, they're my demographic, not the guys and husbands. So I don't advertise at the hardware store.
That's a big part of any sort of like brand or self-branding is like you have to learn quickly like what your audience is and learn how to speak to them. I think that's where a lot of people mess up.
Yeah.
Even like businesses, or if you're trying to push like a social media presence or whatever it is, like if you don't really know who you're like trying to talk to, then like you're not really talking to anyone. You kind of have to figure out.
I'm not doing a good job on that on my socials, but I just like doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a real good job targeting my demographic unless it's business related.
Yeah.
If it's business related, yes, I feel like I know exactly who my demographic is. But when I'm just posting for myself, I don't really know who I'm talking to. It's funny you said that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't really know that I have like a demographic like that either. I just do it more. I do it more so because like I was kind of the same way. I was getting asked questions a lot about like working out or like what kind of foods I was eating or just like stuff like that. Like, and I was like, well, like instead of just like answering all these questions, like I could just kind of show what my life looks like, what I'm doing, things that work for me, and hopefully maybe it'll help somebody out. Somebody will be able to pick up on something or learn something, or so if anyone can just pick up from one little thing maybe that I do or something that works for them, then that makes it all worth it for me.
And that's great, and I think that you're great to do that. I just felt like there was so many doing that, and like I don't want to be like a motivational person, or I don't want to tell you what to do, or this is what I did, because all anybody wants to do is critique that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like if I gave you guidance, everybody's just going to be anxious to be like, "That's wrong. You're stupid."
Yeah.
So I'd rather just post non-serious posts. My reels, I'm just like, let's go with funny stuff.
Yeah.
Let's do fun stuff that makes me laugh. That's what I want to post. Stuff that makes me smile. That's what I want to post.
Right. Yeah.
That's rubbing into my business heavy right now because I'm just over the boring advertising.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still need it and I run it, but it's not the same.
Yeah. I don't like. You see people online and like they'll get like real motivational and into it, and like I want to be like a little motivational, but like at the same time I want to be really transparent about my life, and like the reality is like more days than not I am so unmotivated it's not funny.
Yeah.
Like 6 out of 7 days of the week.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of it. Like I said,
I'm pushing myself hard. Grab that phone, grab that camera.
Yeah.
It's stupid because every time I don't. I missed it. I wish I would have. That would have actually.
Afterwards, you're like, damn.
Like all I've done it. Yesterday morning, all I did was go take care of my son's bird. Mm-hmm. I had the most fun playing with that bird for 5 minutes. Like if I would have got to record any of it, but I didn't have my phone on me.
Yeah.
Like it would have been a great video. Things like that happen all day long. I bump into people. We have a great conversation. We laugh hysterically. Mm-hmm. Things like that. Missed it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Yeah, that's
So do you really want to do it all the time? So that's why it is a challenge to just try to do it more often.
and like even
But I love watching it back.
see,
It's
I don't
self-rewarding.
watch any of my stuff back.
I find it all enjoyable.
I have like a weird like if I make a post online, like I get off my socials and I don't look at it ever again. Like I see the notifications and I'll hit the notification tab.
Okay.
I'll see it and then like I get out of it, but I never actually click on the post. I don't go back to it. After I post a podcast, I never go back and watch it again. I never see it again. I've never watched a single podcast that I've done. Like I've never sat down and listened and watched any of them. I think I would just be cringed out the whole time. So yeah, I just don't do it. It like makes me uncomfortable. I'm like I don't want to.
Oh, I figured you would go back through them, crop out the fun parts, and then
No, I don't really do much.
run those videos. Isn't that what you did with Dr. King came over?
What
And
about-
you had some clips that you ran, not
Oh.
just a whole podcast, you know.
Yeah, so yeah, just the software that I use to record this. It once like we get done, it's got AI and it just creates those clips for me.
Nice.
So then once I'll take those clips and I can post them. But like other than that, I don't go back and look at any of my stuff. Like after I post it, it's out there and like I never look at it again. And I haven't really had any sort of like negative backlash or anything crazy like that. I've had like some people like I had like one guy like comment on my shit like racist like names and like crazy like out of nowhere like crazy comments. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And, like I ended up having to like block him and stuff. I'm like,
Right, delete and block.
yeah, and I don't even
Done.
want to do that or have.
That's my
like,
favorite. If you're a hater, comment so that way we can delete and block you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I'm also big on the idea of like freedom of speech and people should be able to say whatever they want, and I think that's completely accurate. And if like someone wants to comment on my stuff and have like a serious like disagreement and like just have like an actual conversation, that's one thing. But like if you're just gonna start commenting on my shit like racist remarks, like bro, I can't. I'm not interested anymore in having that conversation. Like that's just ridiculous. I can't fuck with that.
Yeah, I don't do argues and rebuttals
Yeah, I don't have.
online.
Yeah, I argue with myself enough all day.
I would just hide. I would just be it's just like being attacked in a mom's group or something. I'd just be like, just hide. You're not gonna win. Yeah,
delete
just let that
Facebook
go.
accounts, delete it all, shut
Yeah, I don't even exist. I'm Sean Shimwell. Just delete this account.
Oh fuck. So yeah, the extra motivational stuff. Sometimes I'm like,
Some people do it well, some people don't.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of friends that talk a lot of crap really well. So like if I say anything, if I were to just be like, hey, I saw the weather, bad weather, heads up everybody, I'd get 20 comments and be like, yeah, we suck. Shut up, Dad. Leave us alone, you know? Like, what are you, the weatherman now? Like,
Yeah.
it would just boom, boom, boom. So no, I don't feel like that's it. And then I did that one time and I was like, and that's when that clicked for me. I was like, pass on that. Let's find a different angle. So
yeah. Well, I think I do a good job of being pretty.
just be
open.
real is kind of what I'm going for. Like, just be real and show yourself. Show my life.
Yeah,
Show little
and-
glimpses of my life that's fun.
And I'd like try
There's
to
not much of it
keep
that's boring. So
like keep it open and honest about the fact of like I am not educated in any of this. Like I don't have any formal education on any of this. I'm not a doctor. This is strictly just me showing you what works for me.
but you
what
had a
I
doctor
enjoy
over
doing.
here.
But
That's something. You got him to come over.
yeah, him, Derek Shelton, I've had a couple of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's been one of the cool things, having people on, get to learn and talking, with someone that's way smarter than I am. And it's like, if it wasn't for this, like, you probably would have no reason to want to even sit down and talk. So, because of the podcast and social media stuff, I've gotten a chance to, like I said, sit down and have conversations with people that otherwise I probably would never even meet or have no idea was even out there. So,
Right.
it's
Well, you do a good job. You speak more here than you do in person.
Yeah, I don't speak much in person. You see me out in public for the most part. It's probably like a hood up or
Yeah, social anxiety look on your face.
yeah, nervous.
And then it's like as soon as we put a mic in front of your face, you could just talk.
That's what like it is hilarious. In high school, I was terrified. I did not speak in front of the class. I didn't give presentations. Like I had an English teacher that I got like a D in her English class. She was my aunt. And if I had to give me like a D in English class because I would not give this presentation. I'd like read this poem in front of the class or something. We had to like write poems and we had to read them in front of the class, and I refused. So I like failed this project, and because I was just terrified, I didn't get up and speak in front of people. And now, like, whenever I first announced that I was starting the podcast and all that, like, I remember her commenting on my stuff, and she's like, "It's crazy." I remember back in the day, and I was like, "No," I was like, "The social anxiety is still there. Like, if I'm out in public or like, we just went to a concert not that long ago, and like, I had on my watch and I was watching my heart rate, and like, before I went in, I was just like." In the 80s, like walking in, and like by the time we sat down, I looked and it was like 120. And she was like, my brother was looking at me like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "Just being in public." Like every time I go out in public, I'm just like stressing the whole time. It seems like,
I understand it's busy. Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah, the social anxiety. I'm getting better about it, but yeah, I tend to just keep to myself for the most part.
Holes makes me feel that way.
Coles,
Yeah, the shopping place when I go there and my kids go, and then as soon as we walk in, like everybody goes a different direction. I already can't control the situation. My mind and my heart just start to get heavy, and then
yeah,
all the registers start dinging in my ears, and all the music is playing, and all the shopping carts are making loud
yeah,
noises, and then somebody's arguing over there. It's a sensory overload,
yeah, yeah.
and you feel that at concerts or whatever. But yeah, I swear, it's every time I walk into that one store, it just gives it to you.
So that might just be Coles itself then. Maybe just something you
Yeah,
gotta
one store is the
be
worst. Yeah,
wrong with
that
Kohl's.
that one store is the worst, and there's never enough registers, so you always gotta stand for. Ah, it's worse. Don't go there.
Yeah, the worst part is like trying to explain or like get people to understand whenever, because sometimes I feel like I can maybe seem like an asshole, or like someone tries to talk to me in public, or maybe I'm like kind of short, like don't have a lot to say.
I didn't think that till right now.
It's like it's like
Ah,
I
swing and a
wasn't.
miss.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't really trying to be an asshole. I was like, I'm really just nervous. Like, it has nothing
100%.
to do with me. Like, I'm not trying to be hateful towards anyone. Like out in public, if you try, like, if I'm short, it's not personal. Like, I'm inside probably just panicking like the whole time.
Everybody struggles with that, and like I every day since I said I would come, have stressed about coming to talk. And what are we going to talk about? What am I going to say? And am I going to
Yeah,
look stupid? And do I want to do this? Like it was stressful.
yeah,
It was stressful. I don't feel like I was really mentally prepared to just do it until today,
yeah.
which is like 2 weeks. We were like almost every day we were trying to get together to do this. So
Right.
I totally understand. And I go and I speak about my business sometimes, and I get up in front of like 25, 30, 50 other business professionals, local people.
Yeah,
Like, and yeah, I feel nervous. And I don't think I've ever spoke in front of anyone ever. And then at the end, no one's ever been like, I'm always going to hear that was good or something nice. And or what do you do to not be nervous? And is like the most
yeah,
common question I get. And I'm like, my heart's racing just like I'm sure yours is
yeah,
every time. I'm
yeah.
just somehow kind of lucky that it comes out well.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's just my general intention because I'm just kind of, for the most part, just be yourself.
Well, yeah, I
So
think
when
it
I
comes from
remind
like
myself that
confidence of like
be
the
me,
confidence of your
they'll like
company.
me if I just be me. That's what I tell myself. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll like me if I just be me. They're gonna see right through it if you try to give them a straight commercial and say, "Hi, my name's Joe, and I'm with First Patriot, and this is what we do.
Yeah.
And we do a really good job, and you can
That's
trust
not a
me."
human
You know,
interaction.
it's not. So I was like, just go out there and just be yourself.
Yeah.
Just go out there and be like, "Hi, I'm Joe. I have a huge ego, and everybody needs to know it."
Yeah.
And everybody needs to know that we're fantastic because we do what we said we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, that's what, and anyone that I've ever met like that owns a business or like has done well with like a company or like they all have that same like chip on their shoulder. But that's how you have to be, because like the world is a dog eat dog type of place, and like at the end of the day, like
It can be. It's stressful because I know that I'm surrounded by all those wolves, but there's
like
still a few of us out here that care more about giving to
yeah.
our workers and
Oh,
our
shit.
clients than
I mean, like
anything. But it's hard to even get to that point to be able to do it.
yeah,
You just
just
gotta
at
really
least
be
have
able
that
to work.
confidence. Yeah, like you believe in what you do, and like you've done it long enough to.
100%. That's
And
why
that's why
I
you
felt
can
like I was
speak
good
about
at
it so
recruiting for the
confidently.
guard is because I just believe in it, and that's how I knew I was going to be good at some kind of sales. It's like I don't know if I'm necessarily a good salesman. I'm just good at being honest and telling you what you do or don't need, and then charging you a fair price to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what.
Or if I believe in anything, then I'll convince you that it's a good idea.
Right. that's what, with like doing the podcast, it's a lot of
You want people
times.
to be healthy.
Yeah, well, and like whenever you speak with people, like you can tell whenever someone's having to like try to force out, or like they're trying to, or you can tell whenever they're, and a
Mhm.
lot of times I think that comes from a confidence standpoint, and a lot of times like, are you just being honest? Like, are you just being yourself? Because whenever you're just being yourself, you're not trying to have to worry about being somebody else or pretending to be someone else. It's whenever people are trying to
Yeah.
pretend to be
I
something
try
that,
to be more professional. I try to
yeah,
be
it's try to act in a way that you would never act if you were like in a room with a
right.
different crowd of people. And that's like something that I try to stand on, is like, you won't catch me acting different, like depending on who's in the room. And that's like something that I try to like hold close. Is like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna,
I
sometimes that
do.
backfires.
I get too excited sometimes when I see people and I play, show my cards, so to speak. I'll be at a business transaction and I'll just talk too much. Like I'll make a joke and it'll be a swing and a miss. I'm like, ooh, should have not. I should have gave them 50% of me, not 100% of me. They weren't ready for all that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is, some of my favorite people are those people that like, they're the same every time you see them. Like you can just guarantee, everyone has like that
Oh
one
yeah,
guy that, whenever you see him, he's just like, he's gonna say some off the wall shit. He's gonna be like, everyone has that buddy or whatever it is, but it's like, that's just who he is. That's how he's been since I've known him. Like, and I have multiple friends like that. It's like, no, they've been like that since we were 5. Like, I can just guarantee this person's gonna do something crazy. But like, those are my favorite people because I know they're not
yeah.
trying to like pretend or be something they're not. Like, they're so comfortable with just who they are. It's like, I can just guarantee, something about that. Like,
I don't like them
unpredictable
anymore. Yeah, how
people.
can they be so comfortable? Yeah, I'm not comfortable in my skin, and I don't like these people.
Yeah, I like someone that's a little predictable. Being around, you get too many unpredictable people in your circle, and
Yeah, I'm
whenever
just kidding.
shit
I'm
starts
jealous.
getting
Yeah,
messy,
yeah.
people start
They,
acting up, and
yeah.
like, I can't have all this. I need to do someone that's a little predictable that I can count on. But like I said, it's something that they're not trying to just fill the space with bullshit, or they're just gonna be who they are, and that's just how it is. That's something that I try to be. It's like, it doesn't matter if I'm in this room talking to you, or like if I'm at work talking to a boss or talking to whoever. Like, you're gonna get the same version, like, no matter what.
Well, that's awesome. No, I feel like for a lot of times that's not possible. You're gonna have to at least create a dad version versus husband version versus work version.
Yeah,
There's definitely gonna be times to be different people.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think there's like, is it like being different people, or is it just like the way you manage like different situations? Like,
Or
because my
I think it's
values,
just gonna be how you manage your personalities. How many do you have?
yeah, ooh, a lot, yeah, a bunch,
Yeah.
yeah. That's been like, but like, the values don't change. If that makes any sense,
Yeah, for sure.
like
Now we're
like
talking. Yeah.
like that's like, maybe that's more sort of what I'm leaning to. Like, my priorities aren't gonna shift. Like,
Because if
just
I'm
because
hanging out with 5 of my friends versus 5 of my, let's say, people I know that own businesses,
yeah,
we're definitely acting different. Like, I'm not gonna say raunchy things to the business guys that I would say to friends that I known forever,
yeah,
like army buddies. There's, guys that I'm used to hanging out with in the locker room or something. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And just being weird or gross with, and those things. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to have different personalities to be able to get along and get through all these different scenarios you got to deal with in life.
yeah, yeah. That's for sure.
And I deal with a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah, well, anytime you gotta deal with the public, man.
And
Anytime
children
you gotta
and
deal
children,
and
yeah,
children, yeah,
ever changing people, yeah.
and yeah, two totally different dynamics, and dealing with the public is one thing, and then children, and yeah, it's
For the most part, our public's been pretty good to me. So
yeah, yeah. It seems
just
like,
just people in traffic, they're not good to me. Everybody in
what
traffic,
is it, man, with you drivers over here in Indiana? Y'all are wild.
they do well. If you go to Kentucky, you notice they'll just all drive 20 miles an hour faster.
Yeah,
So they're good drivers, but they drive really fast
right.
and they don't move. Like if you get in the way, crash, take
Yeah,
it. And here, everybody's just kind of mean, and like merging is like cutting
yeah. You're
in
not.
front of their favorite child.
Yeah,
You just kick their
you
dog.
might
They
get-
hate you. Like
might
so many
get
people hate you
shot
so
at the
fast.
next light. if you have to merge, like, you better make the next right because like you might catch a stray at the next fucking light from Buddy. Like
I got caught at a red light. Somebody merged into my lane, and I just gave them a beep beep, and then they got back in their lane. I was like, good deal. Came up to the stoplight. He rolled down the window, waved at me. And I was like, oh, no, don't do that. And but he kept waving. I was like, fine, I'll hear him out. Rolled down the window. He said, hey, really sorry. I was like, oh, well, thank you. It's not at all what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna, be mean to me or something. And he instantly started yelling, screaming at me, and I was like, no kidding. And I just rolled up my window, and I was just like, dang, I thought I found a good person out here in traffic, and it tricked me.
No, it drives me nuts. It's like, especially right up here through all these lights, like going into Evansville, and everyone wants to drive like 40s
because they don't want to have to slam on their brakes here in a second.
And I'm like, this is a 50. I'm like,
we could go 60.
Yeah, you can get away with 60 all the way to Mount Vernon, baby. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, what do we do?
They even opened up the road finally on the east side, right in front of the Armory and the Army Reserve there.
Oh, yeah.
It's open. Yeah. But everybody still slows down to 30.
Yeah, this cruising through there. I'm like, what? And then next
like, what do we like? Just go.
Yellow lights. And then if you got me running 10 mile under the speed limit, and then we catch a yellow light and you don't go through it, I'm hot. I'm this close to your bumper the whole light, just probably staring at you. Like,
don't drive a big truck, because then you get behind somebody and their best idea is to brake check you. Oh, I'm not too close. I'm fine. I promise I'm watching your bumper. But what makes you think that the best plan you have is that I crash this big truck right into the back of your head?
And what's to make you think that I won't?
Right. If you think I'm mad back here in the big truck, what makes you think I won't just run through you?
You don't understand here. Like, I just made a comment about it the other day. I was like, luckily I haven't had anyone like brake check me like that where it's been too close, but like, whenever it happens, like, you're gonna get hit. And
it's gonna hurt.
And also around here, you have to be careful about after the light turns green, you better wait about 5 seconds. Because guaranteed there is Buddy coming from one way or the other.
Yeah.
Flying about 80 trying to make this red light that's been red for probably 10 seconds at this point. And he's still, semis too, they don't give a damn. Over here, you got to wait. That light, or down here at the intersection, every turn left to go back into town. Right. Man, that you get that green arrow, you better wait. And you better look, because there might be a semi barreling through there about 70 that never touched the brakes once. Like, this one out here is bad. Like, I don't know how many times I've had to wait and let cars, like, fly through this light while it's been red for multiple seconds. I'm like, someone's going to die out here one day. Like, 1,000%. It'll happen. I'm just waiting.
It's a big stop, and they just came in off the highway a lot of times. They're still pushing 60, 65, and they shouldn't be. And then, dang, there was an off-duty cop that got hit right there at the intersection you're talking about. Almost a year ago now.
I guarantee it. That doesn't surprise me at all. That one is...
Young guy.
Yeah, that one's real bad. Out there by North High School, there's a light there, and that one is super bad too, with those semis coming in off of... or they're coming like,
right there. Yeah,
they're coming out of Evansville, heading to the interstate, getting up to 60, and that light will get them right there at the school. And you better look both ways, even if it turns green, because... Guaranteed. And you'll hear the jake brake come on hammer for about a second, and they think about trying to shut it down, and then you just see smoke rolling out of the thing. So this is hammered down.
Right.
You're like,
fuck. Could be crashed too. It depends on how much weight they've got back there. They could crash just trying to stop.
Dude, I mean, like, I don't even have beef with semis. Like, because, like, my dad drives a semi. I just don't have beef with them like that. Some people just like have it out against truckers and they just hate semis.
I didn't know that. Do they?
Yeah, you hear all the time. You see people online talking about truckers and don't know how to drive and all this. But it's like, look, you ever drove one of these big ass trucks?
It's a huge liability. It's a huge risk. It's almost always their fault.
It's always their fault.
And I feel like, for the most part, they try to stay out of the way. Most try to stay in the right lanes. It takes them way longer, and they don't complain. Every time there's a 5-car gap of cushion just for them to drive safely, everybody just wants to occupy that space and cut him off. It's got to be the worst.
Oh, yeah. And if you ever drove,
I don't know how they don't lose it. Like, I couldn't do it professionally because I'd probably have a heart attack. Like, it'd just be too much anger.
I feel like a lot of people that get really worked up about them are like those people have like never hauled a trailer anywhere. Like you've never hauled a trailer through a city,
Yeah.
or like you've never done anything like that. It's stressful, but like this light out here, I'm telling you, I've never seen the way that those semi drivers just blow. And a lot of times, at least 3 times, like
Yeah.
the light will turn green and they just start honking, letting you know I'm not stopping. And you just like you won't even see them, and you just hear something honking, and you looking around the corner. Here they come, 20 seconds early, letting
Yeah.
you know, hey, I'm not shutting it down for this light.
I went through that light last night, and then I saw a flashlight coming up behind me, and I was like, "What is somebody on a bicycle? Oh, it's a bike. It's a motorcycle."
Mm.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, and then right behind him, like, but that cop car was losing them.
They couldn't get him, huh?
Oh no, I was like, well, we'll keep going this way, see what happens, and we could just see the cop turn his lights off and give up right before I
Damn.
fell off.
Well, hell, man. I think we're about ready to wrap this thing up.
All right.
Anything else you want to add? Well, yeah, I appreciate you coming over and hanging out. We'll have to do it again.
Okay,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Run it back.
No, that was fun.
Yeah, dude.
Are we done now, or do I have to
yeah.
like give a closing statement or something?
No, you're good, bro.
Do we do a P&L report?
What's that?
A profit and loss report?
Oh, no. All of you guys, thank you guys for joining again. Sorry for the delay. Sorry it's been a little bit. We're getting back into it, though. The podcasts are going to be coming back out. Make sure you guys are still checking out the Hydrate 1-2 IV. My wife's Instagram page and Facebook, her business, her IV business. Hit her up. It's summer. It's hot. Get those IVs in. Stay hydrated. New episodes coming out hopefully every single week from here on out. That's it.